Recording started.
Let's see. We wanted to talk today about DB 101. And DB 101 is the orientation that we have at the Redwoods. Now, like a lot of when you're thinking about technological solutions to problems, you think that, okay, I'm going to buy some software and I can throw it at the school and some of it will stick, and eventually enough people will kind of get it and it'll move along. And you've seen sort of implementations of technology where that may or may not have worked, and we've also seen it fail. We've all been doing this long enough to kind of see that. So the first part of our orientation is going to be, we're going to talk a little bit about what our school is and who our students are, because there really is no let's go ahead and pass that back around. If you got one, pass it to them. Just keep moving on. Okay. So the other thing is we like to bring our orientation to conferences because the orientation changes. We're doing different things based on what we learn from our students, and also from what we learn from the people we meet at conferences. And we've been doing a lot of research in this, and how to get people started online. And I think today, this was the first conference where we found somebody who's actually doing a 8-week, 1-unit orientation, and that wasn't that. If you don't mind saying your name, Carol. Yeah. And so we got her business card from her. We're going to be talking to her some more because there are some advantages to that. But let's go ahead and I'll introduce myself. My name is Geoff Cain. I'm the Director of Distance Education, and I started out as a teacher. I did adjunct teaching, a lot of student support work, working in writing labs. And when you work in writing labs in the late 90s, people start talking about doing this online, doing this in email. So we have these online writing labs, which fortunately kind of evolved into a sort of natural transition into online learning. From there, how do you do that well? Well, I got into instructional design, and so here I am, Director of Distance Education. I have with me today my associate, Barry Tucker. We're like team facilitators. He's the student development advisor for distance education. It says veteran students right now. It was an enormous job where he did all DE students and then the veterans, advising. So it was hundreds of students at one time. It was probably a much larger number that I don't think as an administrator I should be willing to admit to,
Is that in a counseling area?
Counseling and advisory. I actually work with distance education a lot with the rest of the counselors. I'm with the DE department. Okay.
And so
you have a department. We're in awe.
Yeah. It's kind of a unique piece that we have an advisor dedicated to distance education. And I think that alone is one of the big innovations, is to recognize that you can't put up a web page, throw up some software, and say, hey, we've got ourselves a program. You want everything that you would provide your face-to-face students, you want to also provide for your online students. So let's talk a little bit about College of the Redwoods. College of the Redwoods is a public community college located on the north coast of California. We serve Del Norte, Humboldt counties, the western part of Trinity County, and coastal Mendocino County. CR has one of the largest service areas in California, It's home to nearly 280,000 residents. The district covers almost 10,000 square miles with a population of more than 27,000. Eureka, which is right there, is the largest city. The nearest metropolitan neighbors are more than 260 miles to the south, San Francisco, and 420 miles to the north. So the reason why this is important is because if you look at these places and sort of like bleed a little over into Trinity, there's a lot of people there, and I consider a lot more than you could imagine, who have kerosene lamps, so they're really in the sticks. Small communities that have electricity, on and off basis. And then on the other hand, we just had a new high-speed network, cable put in to the whole area, and we're working. That comes up here, and that cable would break now and again, and so now they've got another high-speed cable coming east-west. It's all very new. So high-speed internet access is very new to these students. And then the other thing that's new is the technology that high-speed access will afford, such as their phone. Like you go into a classroom and you say to the students, how many of you can access the internet on your phone? And nobody raises their hand. But then you ask them, how many of you listen to music on your phone? And they'll raise their hands. How many of you watch videos on your phone? They raise their hands. In other words, they have technology that they're really not sure what it is yet. So they are accessing the internet. They just haven't bothered to come to the redwoods.edu webpage for some reason. So a little more about the college. So College of the Redwoods offers over 1,000 different classes. Our unduplicated head count is down a little bit now. I saw something that said it was 9,000 and something. We have these numbers I'm going to talk about later, about our success rates of face-to-face and online, and also our retention rates, because those are changing since even the last time we looked at this. So again, we want to, the courses and programs cover a broad range of topics and subjects. We have everything from plant science, bookkeeping, computer science, woodworking, dental assisting. We have some game art and animation courses, and we have plans on offering more degrees. We even have, every college I work for, it hasn't been a huge amount, so I can keep a job, but every college I go to, I say, well, we can teach pretty much everything online, just a couple of exceptions. And then there's always some instructor who just blows my mind with some new way of using these tools. Like I think College of the Redwoods might be the only one that has a walking class online.
Oh, we got that beat. Wait a minute. We got a full weightlifting class online.
Oh, there you go. Okay, good.
Right.
Good.
Got that beat. No problem.
I'd like to take that class because the green team
It will make you. It will.
So, yeah.
One of your online viewers is asking, why do you think 70% of your online community are women?
Well, that's yeah, it's we've been kind of looking at that, and our recent version of DE 101, we have a lot of mothers in there right now, which, it's not, I think there's only like 8 students or something in there, but we're seeing there's a lot of baby pictures being emailed back and forth, and so that could be part of it. I think that mothers who do not, there's no such thing, I think, too much anymore as a stay-at-home mom, at least not in our neck of the woods. But so working mothers don't have the flexible schedule.
I don't think that's atypical. I think women are already overrepresented in higher ed and they want to go online.
Okay.
That's pretty much across the board, I think.
Right. Okay. So that's a good question. let's go ahead and.
And then they're usually also the last ones want to read the directions or.
That's true.
Or read it.
Yeah. Okay, and so we've got 2,296 online students. Yeah, well, that's, I know, we're only basically a 9,000 student college, and we have this amount of online students because it takes, like, from Whitethorn to Eureka, how long does it take to drive that?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. And that's
one of the worst roads in the nation.
Yeah. So that's when that road is open.
When the road, yeah.
It is beautiful. It's a gorgeous place.
That's actually the football right there.
That's Koopa, yeah. That's one of our areas. And we have students who drive up there to take soil sciences classes. And there's a lot of agriculture in the area. And so if there isn't any reason why somebody couldn't have a soil testing kit, do the soil testing kit at home, report their results online. We haven't gotten there yet. Yeah.
Is that 2,296 students that are exclusively online or that are taking at least?
But I think this is just one class.
Oh, just one class? Okay. All right.
Taking an online class.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why we're doing this. You know, we had a student orientation. It was a web page that had tutorials. We have a quick start guide, and our retention rate seemed lower than what the research was telling us we should have had. Now, some of our retention rates and success rates in the face-to-face college, are kind of middle of the road. But then there shouldn't have been, the same teachers, same curriculum, same students are taking the same classes. There shouldn't be this great difference between face-to-face and online. Some of it was natural because students will sign up for a history class and they're put on the wait list. Then they sign up for the online class, and when they get into the face-to-face class, they drop the online class. Or there's other situations, so it kind of like shifts the numbers around.
Well, they'll do a couple of days and then decide I don't like this class. They can bail and they have the option. So we see that.
Okay. So the other, I think we still have people with their microphones on. If you want to go ahead and mute that, so we get the echoes. One of the biggest complaints from faculty was that they were, if you want to go with the next one, yeah. One of the biggest complaints from faculty was that they were spending a lot of time troubleshooting bugs in the system and getting students up to speed in Sakai. So we're using Sakai. We're hosted with RSmart. Another issue was the student stress levels of trying to learn the new technology while studying a complex subject. So somebody's in a chemistry course, and then they're also trying to learn how to be an online student. So the idea, though, is that a student has 12 years to figure out how to be a face-to-face student, and they show up in college, and they're online, and they've had no experience with learning how to be an online student. And we find that there are different skills that students need to know in order to be successful online. And then there's just the idea that the students or some of our students are in areas with low technical infrastructure. And that's one of the things that we just wanted to kind of get some ideas about the people that are here first before I ask my question about technical issues. How many in the room are? Oh, yeah.
You asked somebody to turn on their microphone. That's very distracting.
Yeah, I did. So somebody has the microphone on your computer is on. The speaker? Yeah, speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn it on so you think they're online. If there's probably someone connected to teaching for online.
Okay. Does somebody have the speakers on the sound? If the sound isn't on mute on your computer? No? Okay.
It's not coming from their computer? No.
No?
They're listening over their computer, so there's no, and nobody can turn on their mic anyway.
Okay. All right. So we'll keep going through that one. How many in the room here are academic advisors? Do we need advisors in here? Okay, we have got one. What school?
Everybody is there.
I work for the education thing, so we provide classes for the union for United Doctors.
That. And then we were looking for also at one time with students who work with veterans or veterans eligible benefits. Do we have any people that work with veterans? Okay. That's some of the, that's just for our benefit really, you know, so we,
So you can lie and we'll never know.
no, right. So what that does is that lets us know, okay, so we have, you know, we have particular issues with, you know, with veterans and programs that veterans, you know, that are free for veterans that some people may not know about. For instance, like tutor.com is free for veterans, and it's an amazing deal, and it's we were using tutor.com in our courses. Let's see, let's go back one more. So at-risk students in classes for the first time. That's another thing that we had found was that there's student population, you know, students who aren't doing well academically, and sometimes an advisor would say, well, look, you don't have time to really take this, and you find this teacher to be difficult, so why don't you just take the online class? And that's a recipe for disaster. But so these are some of the problems that we needed to solve, and we found that having a web page, and we love the web page, we love the tutorials, we use the tutorials. People do ask them, that was not solving these problems.
Yeah, just a little definition too. At-risk in our community could be a mill worker.
Not being the same thing as it is in downtown LA.
Could be a timber industry worker who's been laid off and now returning back to retrain at 55 years old, who's never taken a computer class. It could be a single mom who's also having to work full-time to support her household. It could be a first-generation college student who comes from the underrepresented population. Could be somebody who's failed out of another school through dismissal and is looking to finish up whatever they started online. So we're getting all kinds of people coming to us for classes, and they have definitely different needs. So that's kind of what we mean when we're talking about at-risk students. Students who are at-risk in this environment.
In downtown LA, it means an underage felon.
Yeah.
And you think I'm joking.
No.
I'm not.
We get them too.
I work with challenged students or students from challenging cases, drug addicts, in and out of prison. I was a high school teacher for a number of years. I would encourage everyone in this room to get rid of that term at risk. They all have challenges, but they also bring so much life experience and wealth. And like you said, look at the piece. I feel that's a real deficit model looking at it. They do have challenges, some abusive situations, growing up with parents in prison. I had a high school class with 70% of their parents were in prison. But they all came with something they could give, but they had challenges that they just needed somebody to see that they had also potential. So yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So this next slide was we're talking about what we've done, and we've the student support on campus included student tutorials. We have a wiki for the student tutorials. We also have tutorials on web pages. We created this quick start guide, and what that did was that had the password information and notes on the most commonly used tools. We also invested in Paracure, a ticketing system. So we have the students, come to us with this, if they need support, they can put in a support ticket. Many of the tools that were first used with students have also been used by useful in training faculty. So we had, we wound up using them in our, our faculty work area to help train teachers. Some of our instructors have little experience or no experience in online teaching, and these materials help them get an idea about what they could expect. So here's all this material. All this material was there, sitting there, humming away on the internet, and that's when Barry kind of brought this idea to me: access without support is not opportunity. And Barry's in a program, and this was one of the textbooks that they assigned to us. We have the sort of list of books at the end of this PowerPoint presentation that we use to help put our program together.
Isn't until the retention goes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Persistence retention. He has worked for years, and he is the guy.
Yeah.
Vincent Tinto.
And one of our favorite parts of that, this was in his book, it's also in an article, it is clear that our nation will not be able to close the achievement gap unless we are able to effectively address student needs for academic support in ways that are consistent with their participation in higher education, and to do so in the community colleges. Simply put, our success depends on community colleges' success. But closing the achievement gap will not be achieved by a practice as usual, by add-ons that do little to change the experience of low-income students in college. What is required is a more serious and substantial restructuring of student experience, especially for the many students who enter college academically underprepared. And so that was one of the things that I was asking was, okay, how does what we're doing in the distance education department meeting that? And our retention and success rates were showing that we weren't meeting that. And Barry, if you want to talk a little bit about our orientation? Here, I'll drive through first.
So what we decided to do was we didn't want to just do an orientation that was static. We wanted to create something that was interactive. And we also wanted to do more than just review how to use the tools in the system. Because we can get that kind of knowledge, but we wanted to do the guided practice component of that. So we created an orientation that lasts 2 weeks long. It has 4 modules, Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday. We offer it consistently, second, third week of every month. It's free. So if you've missed it this month, or if you want to take it again and again and again, you can do so. There's no grades in it. There's no pass, there's no fail. So we want to take that fear away. So students who are there to learn something, there to get past the fear of the unknown. And that was huge for the students. And we still get students that come back and say, I turned in this assignment, but I didn't get the grade for it. We use grades, but to just show you how the grade book works and to understand that, the grades are contained within the orientation. They don't go outside of it.
This is face-to-face, you're doing this
No,
stuff?
we are doing this online over a 2-week period of time.
Okay.
They can do it from home. They can work through the modules at 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, whatever works for the students.
And a new session begins on the 2nd and the 3rd week?
Second and third week of every month, with the exception of December, because finals for fall happen and then Christmas, and so no one's wanting to do anything.
And what's the Monday, Thursday thing you mentioned?
We just did 4 modules of information we thought were really that we needed to cover. We will show them in a module how to use a certain tool. We will give a topic that we think is also important for learning, online etiquette, learning styles, things like that, time management. All these things that we talk to instructors and saying, these are issues we need students to have solved. So we made mini lessons of those things, and then we have them go through the mini lessons and then use different tools in the system for that guided practice. So not only are they getting, time management, web etiquette, things like that, but they're also getting opportunity to use how to use a discussion forum, how to submit a test, how to submit a quiz or survey. We walk them through that, and we do it in an environment that allows them to fail or succeed or help each other.
Do you have synchronous sessions where they have to meet, or is all asynchronous?
We're doing one right now while we're here.
Okay.
And we'll go back to the hotel, we'll log in, we'll check, questions. somebody's having a technical issue, we'll see if we can handle it. If not, we'll defer to IT.
Yeah, the synchronous piece. So it's totally asynchronous at this point. But one of the things that we found is that more of our instructors are relying on CCC Confer. So we're going to have some optional sessions in CCC Confer just for the students. And we already have we have a link to test your computer readiness for CCC Confer, just so the students know about it, and they know if part of our is your technology up to speed module, and that includes a link to that CCC Confer piece. We did back when I was at Tacoma Community College. I was in a health information management class, and it was basically an orientation to all the technology that students needed to be online. And we had meetings where, if we wanted them to learn how to use Twitter, that was all done in CCC Confer. And we'll probably be doing things like that, but they're all going to be optional. There's no mandatory thing. Yes?
So getting back to the Monday, Thursday question, can you meet these components on Monday and Thursday? That's the
correct.
Okay.
In Sakai, we call it MyCR. In MyCR, we've set it up so the package is loaded, and on Monday, Module 1 opens up, and then students can work through that. And we ask them consistently to do some certain things, and one of them is a discussion from post, make posts and respond to 2 other people. And that way, it kind of makes them wait and sit there and hover for a day or 2 before the next module opens up. It's not a self-paced course. And we wanted them to learn the tools. We wanted them to get comfortable in the environment, but we also wanted them to communicate with each other online. And making them sit and wait for a day or 2 really helps promote that.
Yeah, we'll be taking a tour of the class too. So we're just going to open it up on Monday too, because it's.
How do students enroll?
One of the things that we had come up is we wanted to initially use our Web Advisor to have students enroll in it, but we were told we could not because Web Advisor is for classes, and this is an orientation. So we had posted on the website for students to contact me through email and say, we have it posted on our site what our dates are, and say, I want to do June, July, August. Here's my student ID number, here's my name. I put them on the calendar, and then a Friday before it's due to open, we load the calendar, we load the roster into the version of Sakai that we've created for that month. So it's all done through one person above next to me.
Do you have any student services components in there, or counseling, or financial aid, or student tutoring in classes?
We do. We have the tutor.com, which allows students who are online 24/7 tutoring, so they can log in, they can create ask their question, 3 to 5 minutes. They have a live person who is an instructor that can go through and help them work out the problem. We also have, I'm an advisor and I'm in it, so if they have something to do with questions about the school, how do I do a petition, I'm in academic dismissal, things like that, I can respond to them myself, or if it's financial aid, our school wants financial aid to handle all those questions, so it's a matter of me referring to an individual, whoever's appropriate for that question.
But just to be clear about the scope of it, it's not meant to be an orientation to the entire college. There's a separate orientation at the Student Services webpage. We do talk about next steps, but really the problem that the problem comes in when you have students, for accreditation, they ask you that you have to have some sort of intake into distance education. And when you look at how people have interpreted that and used that and expressed that, you get these little tests that say, are you ready for distance education? And if you've ever taken that test, what that test tells you is you will never be ready for distance education. It says, do you like to, are you a big reader? No, I'm not a big reader. Well, distance education may not be for you because distance education is text heavy. Do you need a lot of socialization? And they say, yes, I do. I like people. Well, distance education is not for you because, you don't have that contact with your, so in other words, those kinds of tests were created, 15 years ago, and hopefully, there's those classes that those tests are talking about aren't there, that the technology almost kind of, I've seen instructors who wouldn't really want to engage online, but they see that their class includes a discussion forum. They're using the, students are using the discussion forum, and so eventually they get on board with the discussion forum. I'm not saying that is a horrible instructional design model, but that is typical, and that's just the name of the game. But curiously enough, what's going to happen down the road is if you don't have that "Are you ready for distance ed?" test on your website, you're going to get a little ding from ACCJC. So we said, okay, let's turn that into let's turn those answers around. Let's leave. If somebody says, yeah, I'm not much of a reader, let's have links to sound tools that students can use, audio tools that help them read web pages. Let's put our web pages up with audio. Let's not wait for the screen reader. Let's help the students out. Let's put up web pages where the student can click on a button and they can read along. And that really helps. There's certain kinds of students that really helps.
We've got it in our orientation, multiple modalities.
Yeah.
You can read it yourself, or you can hear a voice recording of it, or you can watch a video that covers the same information. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting, because when those kinds of tests are an opportunity to talk to students about learning theory, to talk to students about how they learn, how people think they learn, and they get to test these ideas for themselves. And they come up, and we let the students come up with strategies through this orientation that are useful for them. So they become aware of their personal suitability for online learning, but it's kind of, just like that old test does, but it's more of, here's a set of strategies I'm going to use to be successful. And then we also provide some opportunities for engagement with instructors and peers. So if they're in the class, or the orientation, if they're in the orientation, and they're comfortable talking with Barry and I online. And also, I should mention Basha Struve and Daniel Fiore. There are TAs. So Barry and I are facilitators, and then we also have, basically, if you're in the distance ed department, you're part of this course. Even if all you do is go into the discussion forum and say, great cat picture, good luck with your next class. That's any kind of interaction we're happy with. But if they're comfortable talking with us, by the time they get into an online class, they're more likely to be able to talk to their instructor.
And we have quite a diverse group. We have an administrator / English teacher, academic advisor. Bosch is a graphic artist, and Kane is a programmer. And we just had a fellow named John that he did the televised classroom, where he did all the math, calculus classes online. He projected them out to satellite sites. So the 5 of us over the last 2 years have been able to log in, interact with students in that capacity. What I may not know, Bosch may jump in and say, ooh, this is the best program for doing that.
I was just wondering if you offer support to your faculty with putting their lectures up in voice or with video and captioning, when you talked about the different types of modalities and the amount of courses that you have. I was just wondering if you guys were able to do that because you're a programmer department and such, and that's fabulous.
Yeah, we have a schedule, a workshop schedule. Our workshops we have them in CCC Confer, and also was curious about this is when we've had students talk to instructors about DE 101, and a student will be in an instructor's class and something won't be going right,
And the student will say, oh, well, what you need to do is you need to do X, Y, and Z, and that'll fix with your testing situation. And I'll say, how do you know that? That was in DE 101. So we had a couple of semesters where we had a lot of instructors taking DE 101 because they wanted to experience the learning management system from the student side, purely as a student. And we had one spooky, that wasn't spooky, they were nice people. So we had instructors, board members, and board members' wives, and the president's wife all took DE 101 one semester. And boy, did that run sharp. That was probably just a lot of service that we didn't have. So what you'll see in this presentation, like we're talking about our students and some of the benefits that we had, and you'll see the stuff in red. And these were our goals, and this red one is one that's still in the works. So we're still working on the smart networks and social media component. But the most important things was letting them see how a course works, get their technology in line, and then learning how to find help, how to use the ticketing system, how to ask for help in an appropriate way, how to, so we talk about netiquette, for instance. It's such an old word, you're almost embarrassed using it. I mean, from when they were using Play-Doh, they were talking about netiquette. But we still have students who will email the teacher saying, dude, what's wrong with your class? It's messed up. And that's not a great way to start a conversation. I don't even know if you would open that email, right? So we kind of work through those kinds of, how do you talk to old people online? That's what we should call it. That's what netiquette really is about. And then one of the interesting things that Barry pointed out was giving the DE department a sense of empathy. So if you have techies and administrators inside this class working with students, well, you get to see firsthand what the students are going through to make these brilliant ideas to come up with work. We say, oh, let's use this, lecture capture system, and see what happens, right? And actually, if you're working with students in an online environment and you get to see what it takes to get students on board and using the materials. Promoting peer mentoring across the college, that's a goal of the DE department. It's going to be even a bigger goal as the budget kind of tightens up a bit and we're losing more and more tutoring services. And then helping students understand smart networks via social media. This is coming around because we find that there's more and more students. For instance, if you go into Facebook and you do a search for College of the Redwoods, there's a couple of official sites that nobody really uses where they're locked down for the protection of the students. And the best way to protect students from social media is to lock it down so they won't be there, And then, so what they do is they start building their own networks. So if you know they're building those networks, and then if you have some idea about how networks work, how they can work effectively, and if you're not sure about that, I've been following the work of George Siemens and Stephen Downes and their work on connectivism. And I don't think it's the total theory of learning yet, but they do have a lot of really great ideas about what a useful and effective network is.
Just one point. If you want to get a snapshot of the empathetic what students go through, try calling tomorrow your financial aid office on Monday. Or your accounting office. Use the phone numbers that are listed on the site, not the ones you know the director's direct line. You see how that phone tree works out for you. It really is an eye-opener when you go from point A to point B to point C back to A. Only by option 2. And it's frustrating. And having people administrators, programmers in the class, in the orientation, with these students, and you can get a little different peek behind the curtain of what they're going through. It really gives you a wow. We need to fix that. That's messed up.
Yeah, and I talk about how scary it was having board members actually take this, but I actually had some very interesting conversations with board members. One of them was also a freelance editor for a major publisher, so he corrected a lot of our comments.
And he was the first one to say, "My book costs how much?"
Yeah. So let's just take a quick look at what we decided to include. We decided to put we put a lot of technology in here, and we know that the students aren't going to use everything that's in there. But the idea is that if we have a lot of tools available, and if we help the students sort these tools out into what they're used for, then the students who are really visual students are going to gravitate towards this sort of heavy graphical tools. And the students who don't want to pay for a word processor are going to go to Google Docs, that kind of thing. So we put in a lot of the technology skills were, email, tests and quizzes. This is resources because it's actually a tool in Sakai. It's a student storage area. But it's basically, it's the student's kind of FTP account. Then the other piece that we have is the study skills. So this is, motivation, advising. We put in cyber safety for the first time, and I thought that was kind of, that was a little on the old-fashioned side. I had some instructors say, "Why aren't you teaching this to the students?" And see, look, the antivirus software kicked in, and we were talking about cyber safety. But I had an interesting email this morning from one of our DE 101 students. She said, "So-and-so's in Facebook. I don't know if I should be in there. I feel like I'm being left out because I don't have all these scholarship opportunities that she's getting through Facebook." And I thought, oh, we better go look into that, because, there's a lot of scams, win a prize, do this, and then so they see that you're a student, and they say, well, give us all of your student information, and we'll make you eligible for a scholarship, so that kind of thing. So having a module in there on cyber safety is a good idea, and I'll be updating that module very soon to cover ads in Facebook. And then time management and learning styles. And then again, we throw in this intelligent networks, not just to say, see, one of the things that really bothers me about learning management systems is, you may have heard conversations throughout the conference here about how somebody signs up for a class, they're in a learning management system, they're in a community, class is over, the community goes away. And all of the solutions that the learning management companies are coming up with to deal with that issue is, let's have the colleges pay for a social media site, and we'll have our own social network. And you'll have, passwords, restrictions, money involved, and it's not a very organic system at all. So what we want to do is we want to be able to give students the skills to be able to connect with one another the way that they naturally do, but in an intentional, directed way. Not our intention, not our direction, but they have goals, they have things that they want to accomplish. They can connect with people online to help them meet those goals and make those accomplishments. But this will be the subject of another presentation sometime. Let's go ahead and go into the class itself. Got it right here. Okay. So there's a funny story. It's a wonderful thing having a graphic designer in your class, or not in class, a graphic designer in your department, because I found this openly licensed free picture of these students sitting in a library working together. And our graphic designer, Basha Scrivy, you could kind of had that look in her eye like, I own a camera, I'm a graphic designer, we have a library, we have students, what the heck are you doing? And I said, just leave it. What she went ahead and did was, she went ahead and checked the videos I picked out They just went into Photoshop and put them in our library. So the students, when they show up, and rightly so, you know, don't leave an administrator in charge of your graphic design. When they see that, they see, you know, the face-to-face students who are also online. They're seeing their library in this class. So I think it's a nice touch. And also, when you can tell when something like this says "welcome" here, when you generically, just out of the box, Sakai, it says course information site, you know, and which isn't very friendly, you know, and but that's what a computer programmer is telling you what it is. It's a course information site. But fortunately, you can go in there and you can change it to say welcome to your class. So when the students log in, this is what they see. You know, we have a description of the class, and then we have our recent announcements are here, and I'll put some video in there, and this is one of ours. Now you can't hear it, but fortunately for you,
You can't hear it.
this is caption. Yeah. So it's caption, and the way that we captioned this one was we put this up in YouTube. Problem with YouTube is I'm not Geoff Cain in YouTube. I'm Geoff Cain, and it has all of my uhs and all of my quirks. It tries to interpret. But what you can do with YouTube is you can go in and you can edit that file very easily. It just takes a couple of minutes to download the file, and it gives you the exact transcription of what you said, and you can open up that file in a word processor, change it, re-upload it, and then all of a sudden you've got probably I would say $600 worth of captioning done, you know, in 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah.
Just to clarify, you don't start with a transcript when you upload it into YouTube, correct?
Right.
You upload just the file, you push the CC button, it automatically does the closed caption for you, and then you take that file and you have the choice to download it to your PC and edit it so you get all the tones and stuff out.
Right.
And then you upload it again.
Right. Then it's a you upload the thing that you download is the captioning file.
Right.
So it's like a text file.
Right.
And it opens up, if you're on a PC, it opens up in Notepad,
Right.
and then on a Mac, it'll open up in whatever your text editor. Yeah, text editor. Right. So we use that.
Jeff, I noticed that looks like frames, and it Dragon naturally or a reader is not really going to be able to interpret that.
Well, we have our DSPS people have gone over our site, and they it's a horrible implementation of frames. You know, I'm not a huge fan of Sakai frames or learning management systems, but it's it's using what you've got. You know. Yeah.
Do you ever have faculty that ask to look at this, or do you offer to have faculty go in just so they can kind of see what students that go through this?
Yeah, we've had faculty go through it, and we let faculty go through it. We have we even have a high school group on campus called Academy of the Redwoods. Is that advanced placement students, or what are they? No,
they're just students who are also they're working on their associate's degree at the same time they're working on a high school.
Yeah. But they're official high school students, and because one of the advantages of not being tied to, DataTel or WebAdvisor is we can put anybody we want to. And so one summer, we did like 30 or 40 high school students. We just dumped them in there and ran them through. Yeah.
How many students do you have go through each time you teach it? What's the average number? Is there one?
Well, it's we get a lot of students who show up, kick the tires, and we never hear from them. And that's it's what happens is they're always enrolled in it. So if they need the information, they can always come back. That doesn't happen too much. Sometimes it's people who say, I kind of get where all this is going. It's like a really boring version of MySpace, and So then, and then they go on. But we do get I'll bring up some of the statistics on enrollment stuff on there. Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say you require this of the students before they're taking online classes?
Yeah, it's not required.
In Web Advisor, off to the notes section on the right, it highly recommends that if you're a first-time online learner that you take the E101, directs them back to the front page of the website where they find information about it. Then they send me an email, and then they can go through it. Some will get in and say, I got this. First week, I got it. I can log in. I see how this works. They back out and say, thanks, but my skills are already above this. Other ones, they get into it, and they live there. I've got, we've had some people that will be in there for, every time you crank it up, there's somebody there, and don't you just hear when I shut it down? It's a social network for them because they're talking to somebody about whatever, and but they're communicating, and they're learning how to use the technology to communicate, and it's huge for them.
So, once you enroll students, do they stay enrolled in it?
Well, that class stays intact for 1 month, essentially, and then the next time we unpublish that site and we create a new version and republish it. If somebody wants to take it again, we'll put them in it again.
We have a MyCR users group that we're going to take everybody who's ever taken the class and put them all in one group. And, see what happens with that. Yeah.
What's the average time frame that a student spends in the course for that 1 month?
About an hour per module.
Yeah.
So about 4 hours.
One module.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you ever get any comments from students that the course is too long, or do they just say, take a few tires and then leave?
No, nobody's ever said it's too long. It's, there really is, I mean, if you take a look at the syllabus, it comes out, but we have,
We have the syllabus. They have the syllabus in front of them.
I know I was bringing up the class here. I got timed out here. Okay, so we have discussion forums where they introduce themselves. Each one of these opens up, 2 of these open up a week per week, and then the lessons come through here, and there's let's say are you ready for distance learning? Review this. This is what the students see. They don't see the ones that have the red block on it, or they see it but they can't access it.
So it's the CON, the learning management system that most of your faculty use?
It's the learning management system for the whole college.
Okay.
Yeah.
About 3 years ago, they changed over the summer from Blackboard to Sakai, so we had faculty come back and left. Oh my goodness. So they also had a large amount of panic and anxiety going on.
What was the reason behind the move?
I believe it was economic.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we had an offer from we got it was like a quarter of the cost of Blackboard, and so we were like everyone else. We're in tight financial straits.
I'm just dying.
Well, let's see. So we also get the students used to using a calendar. That's like an important part of time management. I'd like to mention a little something about what our original goal was, and that was to start working with the retention and success rates. By 2011, we had nearly 450 students in over 12 iterations of the orientation. And in that, we had the success rates where in 2006, the difference between the success rates in the face-to-face and the online college was 9%. At one point, it got down to 4%. And then we hired a new institutional research director, and maybe that made the numbers more accurate. I don't know. But it was 6%. But I like 5% is considered was considered at one time a national average. But the state of Washington had 134 students that they tracked, and their numbers range between 7 and 10% for the difference in those success rates. And then our retention rates were the difference between face-to-face and online was 9%, and we brought that also over to 6%. So it really, of course, closely follows the same rates as the
Where does your orientation kick in the 2009 or 10 or?
It was 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we like to take credit for that, but there's not it's not scientific that it feels right. Yeah,
If you know who the students are that are completers, you could potentially ask your research folks to help break out and compare their success with people that haven't completed.
So with our new institutional research director, I was just in her office just the other week, and she was mapping that out, how she was going to pull out all the students who've ever taken this class and track them to see how they did compared to the students in online classes who didn't take it. And so that will be some interesting data there. And so what we thought that this showed, even though that there's no way to say it's our class that did it, because there really is a lot of people who are working on this, including the students themselves. I mean, in a lot of ways, we've given the students to solve a lot of these problems. And then we have this unintended consequences. And Barry, you were talking a lot about this last night. That
one of the bigger problems in counseling and advising is students don't come to you until they're in crisis mode. And what happens with this orientation is from the first day, they email me. They email me to get in to the roster. Then they have to start emailing me once they're in the class for the first time. Then in there, we're talking in the forums. And when they have questions afterwards, they've already got my name. They know where I live, so they're looking me up. So we're having conversations. The comfort level is there. So before they even get problems, they have questions, they feel comfortable, and they know who to go to. They know they're going to get a response. We've already laid that, and we're kind of building that culture so that students go to an advisor and one's available to talk to, whether it be a face-to-face advisor or an online advisor. Another unintended consequence that we weren't thinking about, they stopped. Admissions and Records got tired of playing that what is their email account game. So they gave everybody an email account about 3 years ago. But the culture was such that students didn't want to use it. I use SBC Global. I use this one, that one, or another. School went to a Gmail account, and so this orientation walks them through and makes them log in, and we use it. Day one, they get used to either using it or set it up so it forwards to the right account. So when we get students who are in real classes and financial aid is trying to email them to get them to bring information in, or Admissions and Records is saying we dropped that class because of low enrollment, students get those emails early. They've already, I didn't check my email because we're during the summer, and I didn't want to check it until August. So we've got it set up. We didn't realize that was going to be the consequence of it, but it is, and it's a positive consequence. Another thing that I told Geoff about ours is we have a person who worked primarily in making publications, works in a back room with an artist, and now she has a chance to interact with students, something she's never had before. At first, that was intimidating, but it's brought it's been a whole new level of her work, what she can do. That interaction has a positive effect on her. She'll have conversations and she'll make an effect on some student, and that makes her feel good. Same thing with a programmer who doesn't normally interact with students. So you get those connections happening as well. So they weren't what we really intended when we started this, but because no one person's in charge of this, a group of people do it together. We just do little pieces, but overall, we have what we consider a sort of decent orientation.
And just to wrap up, the future of this is we have a standalone version that we want to be able to provide. It sounds like it's kind of like we're stepping backwards, but it's not really. We have Daniel Fiore and the rest of us were kind of inspired by Jim Groom's massively open online courses, and so our standalone version will allow students to go out, find information and tools, and bring them back to that community that they created. We want automated enrollment. Eventually, we want to talk about the credit class as well. Maybe try to keep it a completely open class, maybe a credit class. I don't want to set anybody's, I don't want to set any barriers, including ADA compliant modules. I still have questions about some of the flash media that we have in there, where we have alternate versions, but I want to see that sort of the idea that alternate version makes your class compliant. We're more integration with social networks, mobile friendliness, the personal learning networks, things that I've already talked about, and peer mentoring. So those are where we want to go in the future. And I wanted to, let's see, go back. Also in this, if you were interested in any of the things that we were talking about with our sources, we include this at the end of our presentation. These will be available, this presentation will be available, of course, in CCC Confer, but also at my blog, which is at the Brainstorm in Progress. That's kane.blogspot.com. And so that's pretty much it. And the last thing, of course, is if you have any more questions or just want to come up and grab our card, please do so.
Thank you.